Welcome back to Resipod. Take a moment to look around. Think about the products you see every day, like perfectly molded rubber grips, shiny plastic containers, or the smooth finish on furniture. Ever wondered how these items come out of molds so flawlessly or achieve that polished look? The answer lies in silicone based release agents. Today, we are uncovering the magic behind these incredible solutions, how they work, why industries rely on them, and the role they play in shaping the products we use every day. Let's dive in.
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Resipod series, Resils podcast, where we deep dive into the various topics like silicone to innovations in silicones and industrial application, various application of silicones. I'm Vijay. I'm taking care of application research and customer innovation. So today we have Mr. Prashanth and Mr. Sandeesh. Mr. Prashanth is from application research. Sandesh is from product development and research. I'll ask them to introduce themselves. Please, Prashanth.
Yeah, hi, this is Prashanth. I did my master's in polymer science engineering from Anna University, Chennai. So I have been here for the last 6 years of time. So I'm taking care of this right now. I'm taking care of this industrial divisions, which deals with the antifoams, mold release agents, lubricants, and other industrial products.
Hi, this is Sandesh, and I did my master's in organic chemistry, VAT University, Vellore, and I am here working from last 1 year and taking care of industrial applications, product development, and formulation development.
Thank you both for the introductions. And listeners, today the topic is silicone release agents. So today's episode, we are going to target about understanding what is release agents, what is silicone release agents, where it is widely used and why it is dominant in the market. So before getting into the topic, deep diving into the topic, I would like to start with some basics thing. So Prashanth and Sandesh, what is silicone release agents? In general, first of all, what is release agents? And what is silicone release agents and where and all it is used and what are its applications?
Yeah, release agents are substances which we will use it for release mold release, and basically which forms a layer between mold and the substance, which makes easier to release your mold. So there are different types of release agents. One is like a silicone release agents and water-based release agents and oil-based release agents. So there are many categories are there in which mainly silicone release agents are one of the main focus. And why? Because this is eco-friendly and it's easy to use and non-toxic and chemical inert and thermally inert. So there are a lot of benefits are there, which is why the silicone is a major release agent. It is taking part in major part as a release agents.
Yeah. So I'll focus on this application part. So as the product development is taken over by Sandesh. So if you see in the ancestor areas, like our elder used edible oils to cook, and dosa, they will make the dosa kind of thing. If you see in the Western countries, they use that this butter for the release as a release for the bread and buns. So in these cases, if you see in the history, in 1940s, where the many of the industries like injection molding and tire release agents, they were used as bags as a mold release agents, which act as a physical and chemical barrier between the molded parts as well as the mold. Later in 1950s, silicone has been introduced in these segments because this wax will not withstand high temperature above 140 degree or 150 degree. Since the silicones is very popular and then have some wide application and lesser rejections, it has been evolved from day by day. From the day of 1950 till now, silicone leads a major application in the mold release segments. There are many mold release agents based on silicones, especially like conventional silicones like PDMS base, and then it comes like semi-permanent base, and then comes like permanent release. Kind of applications has come up, evolved day by day. If you see silicone, why silicone? So if you see the people, why they're preferring silicones compared to other, because it has very less rejections and it has lower surface tension. It will spread over the mold, which has complex structures. Whereas if you see in the waxes or hydrocarbons, they will like have some defects, like it will not spread over that complex structures and it will stuck somewhere and it will cause mold buildup and you can call this a mold folding. and it affects the productivity of the material. So other benefits, if you see about a silicone, it will help the flow of the material to be molded. So in case if you mold some plastics, the liquid which passes through the mold, it will uniformly spread over the surfaces. In the case of waxes, it may be affected because of high temperature applications. That's a major application we do have in this. And you know, it is very highly thermally stable. It can workable temperatures like silicones we have from -42 up to 300 degrees Celsius. Even some phenyl modified are there. We call it alkyl silicones, which will go up to 600, 700 degrees Celsius. 700 degrees Celsius. It is used in applications like aluminum die casting.
So thank you both of you for the quick introduction about the silicone topic, release agents topic. But while I was talking about some basics, but already the both of them have gone deep into the topic already. So I would like to summarize that. So I understand the silicone release agents. The release agent, first of all, are the agents used to release the articles or molds from the mold. And why silicones, already both of you explained, it has unique properties like thermal stability, inertness, and then the spreadability and all. Can you, Prashant, list me some of the industries where the release agents are widely used?
Yeah, if you see in depends on industries, like we have footwear industries where we have n number of that means TPR release agents are there, EVA are there, and PU is playing a major role. And apart from that, there are some peoples we are going for this natural based rubbers they are making with the footwears. In other cases, there are tires.
Okay.
Tires are
Yeah.
there. And after that, we have some kind of die casting release agents.
Yeah.
And then comes the food, where the food is a major and we should comply to so many standards of local bodies. That's the major thing. If you see about the major moving things in the India or like other places in like Middle East kind of things, the food and the tire are the major segments, plays a vital role.
Okay, I understand. So the industry is largely like plastics and the footwear industry. I think when you talk about the plastic, a lot of automotive industries is coming and food release. And I understand a lot of releases are used in the paper release as well.
Yeah.
Pressure sensitivity is used. Okay, I think the industries are endless. There are a lot of industries which we cannot avoid this release agents. From application point of view, so how do you recommend a product, silicone release agent? Because I understand in Resil we have portfolio of products and release agent. So how do you choose the right silicone release agent for the right application?
Yeah, if you see, there are many articles to be released. Like for example, there are plastics in the injection moldings and the rubber again injection moldings are coming. And then in the extrusion process like rubber EVA and PU, and then many articles are there, epoxies and aluminum die casting. If you see in each and every cases, it has some different properties. Their requirement is different. For example, in some cases, the footwear is to be released is majorly made up of EVA, where the temperature is around 140, 150 degrees Celsius. So that places you can play with our conventional silicones like DSST, DSED, and release SR40. That kind of product we can promote and they will give a good effect. Again, there is two types of requirement in the EVA release and footwear release, especially in the release article, whether it will like shining articles or like non-shining articles they required. In the shining articles, we can recommend our products which is like oil transfer capacity very high, and which will product, you can say like product which should give that oil transferability and high shiner release parts. Whereas in the semi-permanent release, it just like it will form a film on surfaces. It will release the part, but it will not give the high shine on the release particles. That's in the footwear. When you see in the pure release, it has different kind of segments where the conventional econ will not at all work for this pure releases. It may give some release, but it will affect the performance over the time, and the cleaning will be required. In semi-permanent release is a major one where the silicone resins, amino fluids, and hydroxyl-based chemistries has been used. This PU will help, this PU will be like having highly adhesive capacity compared to this other rubbers and all. So in these cases, the alkyl base, resin base, and then which resin base amino base, which are act as a semi-permanent, as used as a release agents. In case of die casting, the release article will be painted after the release applications. So just like after releasing the small screws or something, they will be painted by the colors. Metallic colors.
Okay.
So in that case, the release property should not affect the paintability on after the release. So in that cases, we can promote our products like PM07, which will be like opt out it will printability in nature. So this applications that come from phenyl, the alkyl groups of this silicones.
Okay, okay. And like I understand from you that there are various types. So in silicone release agents itself, there are multiple products. And apart from that, we can group into certain based on the chemistries. Now from Sandesh, from you as a product development background, so how do you choose the chemistries? But for example, when we have a requirement for mold release agents, how do we choose the chemistry? Because I understand from Prashanth, there are a lot of chemistries itself. Can you list me what are the different types of chemistries we have recommending for the release agents? And which chemistry is relevant for which application? Any lights on that?
So actually, as per Prashant told, there are multiple applications. So based on the applications, which chemistry should be used for to develop the product. So how we are choosing that chemistry is based on the what type of material you are being going to be processed.
Yeah.
So depending on that and what type of material, which suppose like in say as I earlier said, oil-based release agents are there, and water-based release agents are there, and wax-based release agents are there. So all of them are a different category and which goes to different applications as well. And at the same time, in every all the applications, there are a silicon material is present. So suppose let's say some emulsion if we take. So in that emulsion also we are dispersing acid silicon directly, we cannot be used in some applications, and which is why we are making it as a emulsion. So in which we are taking some point particular amount of silicon material and which we are dispersing into emulsion, which is keeping in mind that cost effective as well. So all releasing agents we cannot use for all the applications. So depending on the applications and cost effective, keeping all this in our mind, so we will be developing. So like that as such, there are wax, suppose let's say wax. So wax, there are different releasing agents. So in that high viscous releasing agents, so which are some application, this die casting something else. So for that also it will goes where we need to apply this, and in that there is a drawback. After releasing, there will be some residue left over. So that kind of drawbacks will be there. So because of that, so reduce all of this, and we are making it like more preferably now people are looking into water based releasing agents only. Why? Because now sustainability is the main concept which not only this releasing agents or silicon chemistry industry, all over the industry, throughout the industries if you see, all of them are looking forward to sustainability.
Sustainable.
So that is where our products lies. We are making that emulsion, which is waterborne releasing agents, which are very effective, as well as because it is silicon is there, as earlier discussed, silicon have spreadability, good spreadability and thermal stability and all those things. So we are making into emulsion types.
Okay, okay. So I understand from you that we have different types. One is the solvent-based system and the emulsion-based system. Before getting deep into that, Prashant, in a crisp way, so between these two, how do you recommend, like how to choose the products, where the solvent product is used and where the emulsion product is used?
Yeah, if you see I'll give you some small examples like in pure release segments, there will the curing temperature plays a major role.
Okay.
So if pure release, the temperature is around 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. In some cases, it goes 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. Where water based, the water it will not vaporize. It will not form a film as soon as possible. Where in the case of oil based, it will dissolve in like high vaporizing solvents, and it will spray on that one. So the spray and that vaporizing, high vaporizing, it will fast cure and form a film on surfaces.
Okay.
So it will form a good film on surface, and it will release effectivity compared to the water base. If you use in the 50 degree, 60 degree temperature, that water base will form a ununiform film on surfaces, and the surfactants and the water will not vaporize that much sooner. It will affect the performance of the release pure release. In other hand, we have the products like where the temperature goes around 100 above, like EVA release, and again like plastic release. Some cases, their temperature will go beyond 150, 160, and all they're gone. At the places we can play around with the water-based segments, especially in that cases.
Yeah. So I think in summary, so wherever you have low temperature application where you cannot skip the temperature thing, you recommend the solvent base. Where you need a fast curing and quick drying. And wherever you need a safe and sustainable operations where the temperature is supposed to go higher, we can recommend the emulsion products. When we talk about the emulsion, So now in solvent-based application, we understand it's basically a fluid or release agent plus a carrier to apply. But when it comes to the emulsion, so how do you choose the ingredients for your formulation? Because the release property should not hamper by all the choice of ingredient. Of course, the property comes from the silicone fluid, but other ingredients also will play a role in the release. I hope so. So just explain like how do you choose the product design and how do you develop a product based on the specific requirement?
See, based on emulsions, mostly around 30 to 60% of your active content will be there, which is quite sufficient amount of making your release agent as a good release agent. So rest of the part will be your water. So since silicon is a oil, we need a emulsifier which makes silicon to visible in the water. So we accordingly we will choose the right emulsifier to make it emulsion.
Yeah.
Then we will proceed. So basically it depends on the application to application. Say 30 to 60% of your active content will be there. So in that, based on your application, for example, let's say now we discussed about many applications. So based on the application requirement, we will choose what is the right amount to use in that particular application of silicon material, and accordingly we will make the emulsion.
Product design perspective. So I understand what are the other variables. Now we talked about the silicone fluids, the active material which delivers you the performance, and the excipients. Apart from that, is there any parameters that we need to keep in mind designing the products, like temperature, the pH? Because I understand recently we had one issues where the customers said that it's not stable at a wide pH. So I think customers also need to understand which product is needs to be used thing. But from product development perspective, what are the challenges you face or difficulties you faced in making the products for such application?
Yeah. So in this case, if you see when you releasing agents, customers are buying, so they are mainly focusing on the application part. So application, how they are applying that releasing agent. So suppose let's say in some industries by hand they have to apply. So in that case, pH is a matters. So if your lower pH material may not be the right choice to use that. So in that case, pH maintenance is a main criteria. At the same time, release agent also means that release efficiency of release also we should be keep it in our mind. Of course, we will be. That's what, as I earlier said, depending on the application. Suppose a silicon can be used in very wide ranges of applications. So depending on the particular application, we have to design the project. So suppose let's say some high temperature withstanding material. So in that case, we need to use like what is it? Prashanth said alkaline chemistries. So chemistries, that kind of one. And so for some other thick where your releasing agent film should be very proper or something. In that case, wax kind of things can be used.
Yeah.
So like that, depending on the particular application, we have to keeping in that application in mind, we have to design the product.
Yeah.
Of course, the pH is the very big concern. In some cases, it may not be concern, but if you take emulsion, it will be we will be maintaining between around neutral pH. So let's say about 6.5 to 8.5, something like that. So we will be doing that. The acidic we cannot give that.
Yes.
So
I think it will also damage the.
Yeah, it will have the damage. There will be some many negative defects.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Likewise, so first we have to consider the which application. Suppose let's say as a product owner, we are going for some particular industry, and what type of industry is that, and what the material they are processing it. That we have to keep it, and accordingly we have to design the product and give that.
Yeah, I think in summary, from both the technology point of view and application point of view, in nutshell, we have to choose the right releasing agents based on the conditions. The first thing. The second thing is what is the substrate you are getting.
Yes.
So I think the release agent should be not too compatible, and it has to be not reactive with the substrate what we are releasing.
Yes.
And it has to form the uniform film on the mold, and it should not negatively damage the mold. And that's very insightful. And from application point of view, Prashanth, we have worked with a lot of customers, and we have been handling with a lot of troubleshooting and customer inquiries. So what are the challenges customer face in using the release agents?
Before deep diving into that, there are some parameters which customer are focused on. First is in like some customer, they will buy high viscosity or high active content product, and they will dilute it by themselves, and they will keep it for 24 hours, 30 hours, and they will resell the products and reuse the products for over the period of time. So in these places, they will not study about the release stability of the products. Basically, if you see, we have wide range of products in our product portfolio, like 20%, 30%, and 60% we do have in the active content. In the that mean in the chemistries, we have conventional silicon fluids and alkyl based, and I like amino based and hydrocarbon based. We do have in those baskets. So if you see in this applications, like the major problem will arise is like one is pH. They will see it, like small customers, like they'll see the pH because of the irritation issue. You can't able to control the customer what water they are using for dilutions. So in the summertime, the salinity will go high, alkalinity of the material will go, water will go high. That will affect the performance of our mold release as well.
Okay.
And if you see about this, some customers will look for the particle size. The particle size of the emulsion will play a major role while spraying. If you dilute good particle size, uniform particle size, that will give you uniform coating on the molds. It is like if the particle size is like above 1,000, one is about like 30% is about 2,000 and 30% is about 5,000, means that will not give you uniformity in the film forming on the molds. That will affect your performance and it will cause mold folding and build up.
Okay.
So that's a major case. In case of like applications, like what I can suggest are like what customer using currently in the market. Like, so in release segments in the foodware industries, basically there are two types of peoples. One side of people, they want just a release, like low cost products. In other side, we have customers who wants a release and a release part to be in high shine.
Understood.
So in these cases, in this low cost products, like we can recommend our EVA, release SR40, DACD, like kind of product will form. That will form a uniform layer on the molds and it will release. In other hands, they want some release part article to be have high shine. At the cases, we can recommend our products like release SR40, and especially in the DSED segments, we can recommend. So that will give you uniformity on the surfaces mold, as well as it will transfer the oil to release parts.
Okay.
So that plays a major role. Other than footwear industries, they use PU for the PU parts and the PU footwears, where our conventional silicon will not work. So at the cases, we recommend like semi-permanent release agents. Based on the chemistries, work like a silicon resins are there, and it's a combination of amine and hydroxy-based semi-chemistries they are working on right now. So that plays a major role. It will form a film and will release better than the conventional silicones. So if we see in the semi-permanent release, it has a pros and cons again.
Okay.
So semi-permanent release, if you see on the coating, it will form a film on the, like if you have some so much complex structures, semi-permanent release will cause the mold folding. Higher comparatively
in simple language, a build-up.
Yeah, build
The
up.
build-up of the
Mold folding, comparatively higher than the complex. That means conventional silicones.
Understood.
So in the complex molds, they may use the that means we have some special products. That will work for this both conventional silicone-based release agents as well as the PU-based products. So that will work in the better in the segments. In other hand, we have plastic injection molding. Their temperature will be around 140. They just need a lubrication. And release article should be like, it will just release. After that, they will not do any coating on surfaces. So at that case, we can recommend like release SR40, again, DACD kind of things we can recommend in this stage. In other cases, like die casting, there are like, their temperature is very high. About 600 temperature, 600 degrees Celsius will be there. And it should have very less mold buildup.
Okay.
Again, here the major criteria just like the release part will be painted after release applications. So in this cases, conventional silicone will not work because it will transfer the oil to the release parts. That will affect the performance of painting.
Yeah, post-process.
Yeah, post-processing you can say.
Yeah.
So in these cases, our PUMR-based products will work better, and it will not affect the painting process. Because of the phenyl groups,
You talked about conventional chemistry. I think the conventional silicone is nothing but the regular
PDMS. Yeah.
PDMS emulsions. And you talked about semi-permanent, and where we are talking about the OH, we are talking about amino and methyl hydride. These are the chemistries we call semi-permanent. I think just to clarify, can you explain in simple what is semi-permanent, what is permanent, and what is sacrificial releases?
will come from the conventional things. So conventional things is just like they will just dilute it and apply. For each and every cycle, they will clean the mold and they will apply again. So in case of impermanent release, what they will do is like they will spray it. One, two times they will spray it and they will wipe it out to ensure the uniformity in the mold, and then they will mold. It can be like 2 or 3 molds, depends on the applications and depends on the spray volume they sprayed on the surfaces.
Yeah.
It should not be overcoated, it should not be undercoated. It should be uniform and it should be adequate to release the exact volumes the requirement of the customer. That's the thing. And apart from this, you
And
can
the permanent coating is like something like Teflons and
yeah,
PDFE.
PDFE,
These are
they're
the
using
high-end and
high-end
coatings.
things.
Yeah.
That's a major. That's it.
Yeah, I think to give you real life examples, what I something flashed to me is that I think day-to-day life the people uses cooking dosa. Dosa is, I think you also pointed out.
Yeah.
Dosa is a good example because you use oil as a release agent.
Release agent.
But if you want really permanent release, you go for a Teflon coated pan, which is it's a very good example for the release agents. Coming back to the R&D part, Sandesh. Now there are a lot of challenges we face from the customer. They talk about the dilution stability. They talk about the aisle split and all these things. Can you explain like how dilution is important and is there is any guideline for them to use?
Yes, of course. Yeah. See, if you come to the dilution part, so when you are giving your raw material like compound like material, then dilution it should have a, see, in that compound what we are giving, it's not just like that silicone oil. So in that there will be some emulsifiers and additives, some other additives will be added as that we will be giving, and there is a recommendation for that, and it's a overall formulation. So how much formulated, for what concentration you have formulated, and what is the active content in it, and how much water should be added. So that guidance, if they follow, then there will be no issues with the dilutions. So since people what they think that some, let's say something like one customer they have taken, just they may not be aware of that what concentration of water should be added in that. So dilution criteria, they may not be aware of that. So just like that, okay, it's okay to we can just make it a dilute and pull it. In that case, there will be definitely there is a.
They don't balance the actives also. I think one of the thing is that recently we came up with one of the case where the people stored overnight and more than 2-3 days, which is not recommended also, right? Yeah.
See, whenever you are buying some product, not only this product, whatever the product you are, but first you have to look into what is the storage condition, how it should be used, and what is the how condition should be used. Those things are the very much important, which is why we will be mentioning those parts in the TDS. So technical data sheet and SDS, why we are providing, this is the reason, because many people what they do the mistake is that just like that they think that it is just a dilutable thing. Just like that, they are not sure that how much content of water should be added and what is the right quantity to use and make it a proper.
Optimizing based on the performance, they just blindly diluting and storing.
What we are giving, this is a dilutable product, so we can dilute it. But of course, we will be mentioning that with this much content of water you should add, then only the performance will be efficient. Like that, we'll be telling. But since sometimes what people can they just neglect. So okay, 1 liter extra water if you add nothing is going to change like that. They'll think in that cases definitely there will be challenges in that. So for that reason, that's what when you are promoting or giving a product, so we have to make sure that this is the concentration it should be used. Otherwise, if you use more or less, your efficiency will be failed.
So how to choose the right release agents? I think it's majorly whether it's solvent or aqueous. Based on that, you can choose, and then post that you can also decide upon what is the working temperature.
What is the working temperature?
What is the post-processing conditions, requirements, and whether it is semi-permanent or permanent or it's a sacrificial release. So this is how we are choosing the right product for the customers. Yeah, I think
in some cases, volume also matters.
Yep.
So in some cases, if you are using for a more volume, in that terms, accordingly you have to choose your releasing agent.
Okay.
So there are so many parameters we have to each and every point we have to consider. Accordingly, we have to choose it. And always it is recommended to customer to use try it, and then you see which is the right releasing agent for you. Then accordingly you go for it. Just like that blindly, this is silicon releasing agent which can work for all the applications. It is not the thing.
Understood.
So we should specifically use it, try it. when it is workable for you, then you can go for it.
Right. So, Prashant, one thing I want to understand is that from the users, so how to use the release agent, because many people, they don't use it properly and come back with the complaints. So what are that instructions for them, how to best use that? What are the various types of application routes and how best to use, and what are the problems if you don't use it properly?
See, we'll come with the problem, then we'll come to the solution of this one. See, problem majorly they will face like oil transfer. So high oil transfer will affect the performance of next molding. And then cleaning process. For each like cycle, they should clean it properly without any residue forms in the mold. Second thing. And third thing, if you see about this one, the coatability of this one. This coatability, if you see, people will use nowadays using spray guns. If you go for the small scale industries, people will use brush as well as they take some cotton and they soak it down and they will just apply. In small scale wiping kind of things they have used.
Yeah.
So in those cases, there are some controllable parameters, there are uncontrollable parameters are there. So if you see about controllable parameters, like the dilution ratio is a controllable parameter. So with that we can recommend our customer to use exact volumes. For instance, you remember we went to a customer in somewhere like in India. So they used just one small can. They didn't measure how much the quantity of the active ingredient is there. Just they're mixing 1:5 ratio just by what he's telling, and we don't know about which water he has used.
Yes.
So the alkalinity or the pH when we checked, it is more than around 10. So it may cause like mold build-up as well as corrosion of the post-processing. That effects are there. In some cases, like people formulators are many people are there. They'll buy materials from us and they will formulate their own formulation and they will send ready to use products. In that cases, they will not study about this dilution stability. They'll just buy. They will tell like ethanol percent dialogue, like they will tell and they will mix it up and they will pack and they sell these materials to the customers. So in that dilution, what happens over the period of time, that microbes will form because of alkalinity and other external habits. So this will cause the again mold defects.
Yes.
Like release will not be proper.
Yeah.
At the end of things, it will come to like the active ingredient is not working. So it is not totally dependent on active ingredients. Totally, it is depends on the dilution as well.
Applications also.
Application as well.
So though you're simply saying that the product, you have the best product of the world, if you're not used rightly, you will have a lot of defects in that thing.
Exactly.
So especially the defects comes from, as per your discussion, I understand the maintaining the dilution, maintaining the application and processing condition. Water also plays a role where they dilute the quality of the water. That's very informative. People has to
see. Many people are using contaminated water also. They just store in open condition. They will take the water and they'll use. It may have some particles.
Okay.
That may affect you in the release properties. So that also may.
Right. Sandesh, just wanted to understand what is the end benefit the people are going to get by using the release agents. So I understand a lot of metrics are there, but based on the experience we have discussed with the customer and your learnings, so what are end benefit people are going to achieve from using the release agents?
So obviously, when you are using a release agent, your process will be smooth, efficiency will be increased, production will be increased. And so all of this, it is a more or like if you say it's a smooth process. So you're tension-free process. Like when you are using a releasing agent, so you will be production will be very much increased. So that is why large volume of things can be made. So this is the main use of the releasing agent. Yes. Some cases, let's say if you are not using the right releasing agent for making some, let's say some mold. So mold, you are making some, using that mold, you are making something, and without using a releasing agent. So if that gets stuck, so sometimes your mold itself can...
that's a huge investment. Mold is very cost and it's huge investment.
So in that case, that's why, which is why we have to use the right releasing agent to release your what is the substance. That way it is very benefit.
So I think that's very useful information. So the mold is very costly material. So you can protect your mold, you can increase your efficiency, you can cut down the cleaning cycles and downtime. and also the quality of the release
Quality of
articles,
the
because he
release, yes.
explained that is not only the release, it also gives you shine to the release article.
Yes.
So it having a value addition to the release
Basically,
article.
it's a structure. Let's say why we are using a mold. It is it's a kind of a structure of
Yes.
your material.
Yeah.
So when have a defects in that mold itself, then you will not
That
get a
transfers to the
proper.
article also,
Yes.
release article.
Yeah,
also.
then you will not get a proper material what you are expecting to get it. So
Exactly.
that is where your, then obviously that will go bad. Your what is that? Investment is gone bad, raw material is gone bad. So all of them, it is a useless altogether. So that is why if you use the correct releasing agent to make it proper, then
And Prashant, we talked about various applications, but I think we are our customers. We are dominant players in footwear industry, tire industry, and some medical devices also, rubbers. Rubbers also we are doing rubbers. But what is your thought process on the food? Because we have a lot of new applications working on the food release.
See, food release is a big segments, like, where it is having direct or indirect contact with the food products. So our product should be having regulatory with the local norms, especially the 21 CFR kind of things. We have to comply with that one. And this products will go in like applications like, paper cups and other like applications in that paper release kind of things will go, especially in the food.
I think the backed paper is also coated with silicone. So one of the easy example for everybody to understand food. Right? Food, basically the simple differentiation is you have to comply with the FDA regulation. I think the dimethicone or the silicone oil is already compliant.
Yeah.
Only we have to take care of the excipients and then comply with the local laws.
Especially in the surfactants and other parameters we should follow.
Okay. And Sandesh, I would like to understand from a technology point of view, what is the happening chemistry? What innovations or technology innovation happening for in the industry of mold release and from the technology point of view?
right question. See, as earlier we discussed, nowadays everybody is looking for the sustainability. So in that case, release agents, people are all of the companies who are all having this release agent technology with them, and they are all looking for natural based products like plant based oils and natural oils kind of, and some polymers which can be biodegradable polymers. In that way, it is taking innovation.
Okay.
Maybe in future, this is the major impact on the mold releasing agent industries.
Okay.
Why? Because now everybody is concerned about sustainability. So what are all damage should be happen? This well, now itself it is more or less it has happened.
Yeah.
To prevent whatever is there, to just to make it safe, we need to go for a sustainability side, and every industry is looking for that. Not only this industry, all of the industries, wherever you see, wherever you take a concern, everybody is looking for to make a sustainable products, which are mainly comes from the natural sources, and like plant based oils and what I said. And other thing is biodegradable polymers.
Okay.
So if you come to polymer based, and biodegradable polymers are the main concern there. So in that way, we can expect this mold releasing agents in future. This is going to play a major role in the industry.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting discussion we had today. We did dive into various topics of release agents, where it is used. I think we can summarize that release agents is enablers for the industries where they can increase the productivity, cut down the downtime and the quality of the products. And there are a lot of benefits. And we understand that a lot of innovations is happening in the sustainability route, where you cut down the VOCs, moving into emulsions. And it was very interesting. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Sandesh, for your valuable insights in this topic. Listeners, please reach out to Resipod for any technical support or any more understanding of the products. And we are happy to support on your product and increase the efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoyed our dive into silicone release agents, don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button for more insightful content. What stood out to you in today's episode, or what's one new thing you learned about silicone-based release agents? Drop us a comment and share your thoughts. We would love to hear from you. Keep innovating, and remember to visit result.com and resultsilicons.com for more information